Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Will. Today on the lathe I have a little piece of ash. I wet turned this, the day just gone off it. I wet turned it 5 or 6 months ago, but it was a piece of branch wood, but the branch wood actually had an elbow on it, a 90-degree elbow, which I found quite unique. So if you look at the rim, it looks like an end grain bowl, the way the grain is circular there, and as you can see where it goes down into the bottom, you can see as it gets down closer to where the point of the elbow was. So the grain is quite unusual in it, but it has, as you can see, it has warped quite a bit. So, but we don't mind that. The most important thing is it's nice and dry, and I've left plenty of material to work with. So I'm going to go for a bowl, as you can see. So I'm going to try and maintain that that shape on the outside. I like it, but might leave a slightly wider rim on the top like that. But anyway, we get it. I'm going to mount it just between centres, just to throw up the foot. Just a bit of scrap wood and an old chamois, just to use as a friction drive. Just bring up the tailstock. So basically I'm just wedging it between centres. Yeah, it's a little bit out of balance, but it's not too bad. So you see my tenon has moved a little bit, so I'm just going to throw that up for now. So let's clean that up quite nice. So now we can start shaping the outside. Just smaller tool rest. So now I'm just going to start off with a 3/8 inch ball gouge. The grain is really quite pretty in this. It's all over the place, so it's really good. There's a little bit of olive ash on one side as well. It's quite nice. That's after cleaning up really nice. So it didn't take a lot to get that right. It's ready for sanding now. So I'm going to sand the outside here now. Now that's all the sanding done. I sanded up to 400 grit. So it's after coming up really nice. So what I'm planning to do is, I know it's a sin to cover up all that nice grain, but I will see it on the inside, so I'm going to colour the underside of the bowl. So I'm going to be painting it black basically. So I'm going to be using the Hampshire Sheen Intrinsic Colours black, the black one from that range. So I'm just going to grab grab some colour and I'll take you back in 1 second. So now I've just grabbed some colour. I had to go look for it. I don't use colour too often, so I didn't know where I put them. So as you can see, it's the black from Hampshire Sheen's Intrinsic range. So I'm just going to apply it with a small piece of paper towel. As you can see, we can still see all the lovely grain through the colour. Now I think that covered pretty well, so I might just let that dry and I'll actually give it a second coat then. See some lovely bands of figure coming through the colour as well, and all the grain is still seen, so that's what I was hoping for. So I'll just pause for a minute and let that dry and I'll give it a second coat. Just cheated a little bit and dried it off with a hairdryer. So now we'll put one more coat on, just to darken it down a little bit more. Now again, I'll just dry it off with the hairdryer. So now it's all nice and dry. As you can see, there's a strip there of lovely châtaignes showing through. Maybe the camera's not picking it up. Just there, you can see when I turn it. So anyway, I'm just going to denib it with this little bit of Scotch pad. So now my next step is just to seal this wood up, so I'm just going to put some sanding sealer on it. Again, just applying it with a paper towel. It will take some of the colour off, as you can see, but that's okay. Now I'll let that dry and I'll get a second coat on. So now that's the second coat of sanding sealer on. So that should be plenty. So now I'm going to apply a little bit of wax, but I'm going to go for a coloured wax because it will go into the grain a little bit in the ash. Ash is nice open grain. So again, I have the Hampshire Sheen embellishing paste waxes, so gold or bronze. I think the bronze. Yeah? Yeah, I'll try it. So here goes. I can see it just sinking into the grain. I'm out of my comfort zone with colours. I don't usually use colours on wood. So I hope this turns out okay. So now that coloured wax now has gone into all the grain. So I'll just let it dry off a little bit and then I'll get it buffed. So now the wax is dry enough now to buff, so I'm trying to speed up a little bit, and it's a bit too fast. So it's doing about 1200 RPM there, so just again, piece of paper towel. So now I'm just going to put a coat of gloss finishing wax on top of this just to get an extra bit of shine. So now I'll just let that dry off a little bit. A lot of waiting for wax to dry. We're nearly there. Yeah, that's good enough now for buffing. So again, I'm up to about 1200 RPM. So with a paper towel, just fold it up into a pad, just nice and gently. Just buff the wax, just don't overheat it. Just very light pressure is all it needs. Just with the tips of my fingers there, it's just glancing over it. You can see the lovely shine starting to come. So no pressure at all. Yeah, happy with that. So now I'm going to get it into the chuck and make a start on the inside. So I'm happy with that. Nice the way you can still see all the lovely grain. And the bronze wax just highlights it even more. So as you can see, the rim is still out of whack, so that'll be my first job, is to true that up, and then I can do the inside. So again, my 3/8 ball gouge, 3/8 inch ball gouge, or 10mm. A little bit there still to get. So that got that nice and true now. So I can hollow out the inside. I'm thinking about the rim. I might leave a slightly wider rim, because it has some lovely colour in it, some lovely olive ash. wall thickness. The bottom. So still a good half inch of material, so I can take another pass. I might just put a fresh edge on my ball gouge first. So now, good and sharp. Check the bottom again. Yeah, happy with that. And I just undercut that rim a little bit. Yeah, happy. So, good for sanding. So I sanded up to 400 grit, and I just finished off with the little scotch, the yellow Scotch-Brite pad. So now I get some sanding sealer on this, get the wood sealed up. It dries pretty quick, so I'll get another coat on it. That's just Chestnut Products sanding sealer. I mix it 50-50 with tinners. So now just let that dry off and get a coat of wax on it. It's dry already. So I'm going to use microcrystalline wax. Yes, the Hampshire Sheen one. And I can put a coat on the other side as well. So now I'm just going to let that flash off there for about 10 minutes before I buff it. So I'll take it back when I'm ready to do that. So now that's the wax dry enough to buff. So we'll just bring it up to 1200 RPM. And again with a piece of paper towel, just nice and gently, light pressure. So there's the inside, shined up really nice. See all that beautiful grain? There's the underside with the black and the bronze embellishing wax. So I'm just going to pop this tenon off. While I was waiting for the wax to dry, I changed the buttons on the coal jaws. So he's ready to go. See if I put them in the right place. I have. I might put a piece of paper towel behind it because sometimes the coal jaws can mark the bone. pretty good. So it's solid enough. I'm happy enough. I don't need tailstock. So now just nice and gently, I'll just nibble this away. So now just get this sanded. So now a little sanding sealer, then a little bit of wax. Now there we have it all finished. Lovely piece of ash with the embellishing, the bronze embellishing wax in the underside. Some nice little bit of olive ash in it as well. Some beautiful colour. As I said at the start of the video, it was a right angled piece on a branch, which was actually quite unusual to find. Because you think it was an end grain piece, because you can see the ring of grain goes all the way around the rim. But if you look down into it, you've got a pit here and a pit here, so it went down and across, so that was the center of the elbow. So an unusual piece, but nice all the same. So anyway, that's a wrap on this one, guys. So if you like this one, you might give me a thumbs up and maybe a subscribe, and be very much appreciated. And I shall catch you on the next one. So take care, bye for now.